You know what? I bet you the next thing that's going to come out soon, which we haven't actually heard about since the very beginning of this pandemic. We did you ever hear about hydroxychloroquine or what the fuck?
Yes,
Yeah.
Trump 2024.
So that turned out to be bullshit, right? But what we haven't heard since that we have not gotten another kind of remedy for COVID.
I mean,
think about that.
In my hometown, they're saying if you suck this old guy's dick and he comes in your mouth, that might be the remedy. But I think it's hocus pocus.
I'm definitely never going to go to your hometown. But literally have no idea what that means. But fuck it. We're getting into it anyways. It's funny but foul. We're here again. Your boy Hector, your boy Arman. Oh, damn. Say that one more time. I'll get there one day, boys.
Yes. We got all the teeths.
We got all of it, man. You got all of it.
I got all of it, but these beats are just...
These beats are fucking solid, man. You got a good pick on this one for sure.
I told you, dog. When you hear it...
He's like, oh, yeah, I can, like, tell from the beginning. And yeah, to be fair,
literally could have.
He did.
Literally, I'm like, yo, this is going to be a banger. It took how long? 4 milliseconds? Maybe 5.
I don't know, something like that.
It was crisp. Dude, what the fuck is going on with the fucking states, man? These vaccines bullshit?
We're going to get into it. No, it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit, okay? Everybody everyone who listens to us, it's not bullshit. It's not, all right? It's good. Oh, it's not good. It's actually fucking terrible for them, but we're going to get into that in a second here. So, COVID is back in a way.
In a way.
Well, last week when we were here with our boy Emilio,
Emelianko,
our special guest, we were on the topic of what COVID was going to look like, or at least I said what I think COVID is going to look like going forward. And so I had said that if we get to a point where vaccines are readily available, where you can just walk into a fucking any grocery store or like anything that you can basically get one for yourself. Yep. That's a good place. Why? Because that does a few things. One, it means that the supply is so great that the demand is basically at zero. That means anybody can get it for a good price for like whatever, and it doesn't. It's like a commodity at that point.
But if you think about it, these corporations, if it was to that point, their profit margins would decrease. So they would want to have it.
No, you know why?
Why?
They just move on to the next thing, man. Come on. These guys are fucking slimy as shit like that. They'll find another drug.
There you got Ebola fucking 3,000 going on.
They'll find a fucking another thing to pump and push. They're going to find... You know what? I bet you the next thing that's going to come out soon, which we haven't actually heard about since the very beginning of this pandemic. We... Did you ever hear about hydroxychloroquine or what the fuck?
Yes, Trump 2024.
So that turned out to be bullshit, right? But what we haven't heard since that we have not gotten another kind of remedy for COVID.
I mean, think about that. In my hometown, they're saying if you suck this old guy's dick and he comes in your mouth, that might be the remedy. But I think it's hocus pocus.
I'm definitely never going to go to your hometown. But
you get raped, boy.
Yeah. Probably 100%, but we have not heard of a single remedy, like an official like medication that you can take for this thing since that hydroxychloroquine fucking fiasco, right? And so, I think that's gonna be the next thing that actually comes out. It's gonna be some kind of treatment, some kind of remedy,
some type of topical, groin treatment. That's what I want.
But right now, what's happening with the states? People are talking about, the Delta variant. Everyone's saying Delta this, Delta that.
And this is not from Delta Air, okay?
Delta my ass, Delta whatever, right? And so the situation in the States, and I've talked about this with a few of my friends already, it looks worse than it is for a few reasons. So one, it's definitely bad in the sense that more cases are coming through, something called breakthrough cases, where cases in people who were fully vaccinated are now starting to get infected with COVID, are starting to be realized. People are concerned because like, oh my God, does the vaccine not work? Is it all just a bunch of bullshit? Is it fake? A bunch of white people like, I told you this was why we shouldn't have taken the vaccine. This is why me and my mama didn't take no vaccine, because it don't work.
And now they got 2 kids. What the fuck?
And now they got 3 kids and a half with like 3 arms. No.
You're pointing at me, man.
I'm just pointing at the neck.
My parents aren't related.
I could point over there. It's not true. The vaccine works. People get confused when they think of the vaccine because everyone hopes that with a vaccine, all of a sudden, COVID just disappears and stops existing, and then we're all good, and then you can start having your fucking 20-person orgies in your house again, and then everyone's gonna be safe.
Oof, don't talk me like that, bro. Get those fat bundas.
Right? That's not what the vaccine is meant to do. The vaccine is meant to reduce severity of all symptoms, in the sense that if before the vaccine you were basically sentenced to die, like if you knew that you were going to die, if
Like you knew the Reaper by this
basically,
second name.
like if you knew that the vaccine was going to kill you, this vaccine will now potentially take you to a point where either all you get is a fucking runny nose, or it's possible you get like hospitalized for it. Like you're going to get a severe reaction to it, but you're not going to die. Right?
You're not going to die, boy.
And if you knew that if you got the vaccine, you were going to definitely become hospitalized and, really suffer some fucking lung damage. With the vaccine, now, again, you may not even feel the virus at all. That's the point of a vaccine. That is what the fuck it does. Okay, guys? Ladies and gentlemen?
Educate yourself, bitch.
That's the point. So, in reality, the vaccine's actually supposed to take us to a point where all these anti-vaxxers thought the fucking COVID was from the beginning, because everyone was like, oh yeah, COVID's just another fucking flu. I'm gonna use my southern accent again. They're like, COVID's just another flu, y'all, and it don't matter. My mama had the flu and she's fine now.
And now I'm fucking in her ass.
Exactly, right? I mean, hopefully not exactly.
Pause.
But we are supposed to get to a point with this COVID virus, the coronavirus, that it just becomes another regular part of our lives.
Yeah, man. It's
That's
like
the
STDs.
point.
It's like, you know what we want it to be?
That's
we want it
regular
to be
for you?
like herpes. When it's herpes, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, I mean, sure.
Okay?
If that
It
works-
comes in, goes, a couple pimples here and there. Nobody asks nothing. It could be ingrown hair. It could be fucking herpes, man.
Listen,
you don't know.
I was going to say the common cold or the fucking flu, but if you want to use herpes as your example, that works
Listen,
too.
over 80% of the Canadian and American population, I actually believe it's just the American population, 80% have herpes.
Interesting.
80%.
So
And
that's
that's a number I just made up.
That's a fact. Yeah,
That's
I
a
fucking
number
knew
I
it. I was
just
going to say
made
it's
up.
not a fact. That's some bullshit.
But you believed it for a second. And that's
Actually,
all
yeah,
that matters, right?
I'll say for like a second.
Yeah, so they say if you believe in Santa Claus for a second, that
he's real?
done what he's done what he needs to do. If you just believe him for a second in your life, you believed in the magic, and that's what
actually a
I
good
got
point.
for you,
That's
man.
a good point.
I got Santa Claus for your ass.
So that's the point of where we're supposed to get to. We're never actually going to eliminate COVID entirely.
No.
It's gonna keep mutating,
Yep.
like it has already.
And we're gonna keep talking about it.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into the Delta variant in a second, but it's always gonna live with us. We're not gonna just eradicate it, but we're supposed to get to a point where we're just okay dealing with it. Where like, okay, yeah, called in to work. Yeah, guys, I just got COVID, so I'm gonna be out for like
but
5 days.
Aren't
or
we
whatever.
there? We're there.
Yes and no.
We're there.
People are starting to believe that that's not the point, which is a problem, because people are like, oh my god, I thought we were supposed to kill this thing with the vaccine. No.
Too great
no.
of an expectation. Lower your shit, bitch.
Yes. It's funny to me because where we're supposed to get to with the vaccine is where all these anti-vaxxers thought we already were without it.
You know who these anti-vaxxers are? These are the same girls, same dudes that are threes with potentials of being threes, and they want fucking 12s. They want the girl from fucking Too Fast, Too Furious, or Fast and Furious Tokyo. You know that fucking Peruvian chick?
Yeah.
What's her name? Laura, whatever the fuck.
I know what you're talking about.
Bless her heart, dude.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
a fucking angel. But they want that chick. Or they want fucking Channing Tatum, like when he was in
I
his
know what you're
prime.
saying. I know
And
what
they're
you're
like
saying.
threes.
Yeah.
You're like, bro,
It's-
your expectations are up here,
Matt,
and you're not Jesus.
You got to manage your expectations.
That's right,
And so
man.
people have been citing some studies where it's like, 200 breakthrough cases of COVID and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's literally okay. You know why? Because these people got COVID, but they are they're not having any severe reactions to the virus. It's just passing through them, and for some people, most of the vaccinated people, it's just asymptomatic.
And I think in hindsight, when we do look back on this, and these numbers are scaring us in the present,
Yeah.
I think we don't really, a human being doesn't have an idea what 30 million is.
Oh, 100%.
And what
Yeah.
800 people out of 30 million is.
Yeah.
If you saw this on a fucking scale, on a geographic map, and how it affected different regions,
Yeah.
you would see the slow process of it. And
Well-
you wouldn't be as worried. And even the concerns, like if everybody just watched a 5-minute video of the worst thing that can happen, and at what state that person that died
Yeah.
in the worst case scenario, what were they like normally? Were they on a fucking wheelchair through a fucking oxygen mask? Well, then yeah, they're one from the grave, one from the banana peel, as my fucking Uncle Joey says. You know what I mean?
Sure, that's a good one.
So it's like, what do we expect?
Well, like, here's the thing, because in some areas of the world, and now I'm going outside of the U.S., yeah, this is actually pretty fucking bad. The reason is, like, in some countries, they got it pretty fucking bad. But that's because they have no access to the vaccine.
Yeah.
At this point where we are in BC specifically, we're basically fully open. The only thing that's left at this point
Is to get my nutsack wet.
Listen, you can do that any other day of the week. Don't blame COVID for that. Don't blame your problems on COVID, okay? But telling me this is what I got to do so that we start opening shit up, let's fucking do it.
Let's do it.
I may not believe in this 100%, but fuck it. I'm kind of tired. Let's just do it. If you're telling me that you're going to open shit up as soon as this is done, I'm in. But these motherfucking stubborn people in the interior, they're like, I want my rights. I want my freedoms. Now I want my restaurants. I want my McDonald's. Well, guess what, Sally? You're not going to get it now because you've been playing hard to get with this fucking vaccine.
Sally wants a 10, but she's a 3. This is the problem here. Everybody is sold on this dream of being a queen or king in your lifetime, and we have no perception of what we are as far as numbers, as what your life is when it equates to a country, a populace of 30, 40, 100 million, 300 million people. And it's that idea that is so hard to digest and understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because you really don't know that you're not special. You really don't know that you're basically a bacteria when it comes to the earth. Going from that to long-term fucking relationships, dude.
Oh.
Are you into it or no? Be honest. Do you see a point?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
What do you think the chances are if you had to guesstimate? What are the chances of truly finding a long-term relationship worth like a human lifetime?
I think you make that for yourself, actually. That's almost like a controversial opinion to have, but I think you make that for yourself.
It is controversial because someone's happiness and pride and ego and all the combination of can only be determined by that fucking person that foresees this. So for you, it might be X. For me, it might be Y. So it's like, basically, this goes to one question that we had, which was, what is success in general?
Yeah.
And what is success in all these avenues that further into life's complexity?
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I was going to ask you, but that success question is a very interesting one, because if you ask any number of people out there, everyone's going to have their own definition for success. Like, what defines success? In a general sense, I define success as any avenue of your life or any undertaking that you've had.
Let's do this. Let's go general, what you think it is, what general I think it is.
Specific?
And then go into specific.
So like applications.
Yes, because I guarantee right now I see this, just like I see these beats coming. I see this happening. We're going to have fairly close general.
Yeah.
We're going to have such a different specific.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So different.
I like that. So yeah, to continue on to the general, I think it's any avenue of life or any undertaking that you get into where you get a sense of fulfillment from yourself as well as recognition from the people you care about and love, whether that's your peers, your family, your friends, or whatever. I think those are the two. That's it. That's as general as I would make it, and I think that's what I would apply to like success for myself.
I find it much more appealing when it is general, because you can say things like, I want my family and friends to be the best that they can, or to be in the best situation, and I am the best, and I wish they see me. But what we don't understand is the time that we have, and how it makes zero difference regardless of the time, because my success might blow out in my early 20s, yours might be in your 30s, whatever, right? So there's a different time. But when it does happen, there's been so much change in your mind over the years that success when you thought you were 17 was no longer the success that you thought when you were 40. That's why these things that when you say are general, right? They can be applied to that 17-year-old that wants a GTR or that 45-year-old that has sex, like 6 mansions and fucking 14 kids. My general is to be content with life and to be happy, even though you know the negatives, the death, the harm, the abuse that you can face, but be completely content with what you've done and what you're doing. Whether the relationships, the friendships, the work, the life, the health, everything together. Some people in that idea are going to be closer to, something very shallow, like, having good skin and good hair, like my dumbass. Or they're going to be into, other shit. But let's go into specifics. So
so here's another question I was thinking of is, when you look at somebody and you say they're successful, what are you seeing in this person? What makes you call somebody else successful?
I think across the board, it's
was it that happiness that you mentioned?
It comes. I think there's 2 different people that answer this question, but for me, I say it has to do with the way or the thing that they picked to do. And how difficult that was.
Difficult for who?
Difficult worldwide. Universally.
In what sense? Is there such thing?
There is.
I don't think there is.
There is.
I really don't.
There is. And this is why. That idea that these people do that are like highly extraordinary, specialty people, like the firsts, the pioneers of certain things, right? Not only did they pick this thing, but they picked it in a perfect opportunity. Now, somebody else might have picked the same thing with the same gifts, bad opportunity, never got it. So worldwide, I understand why you're saying it's not the same, right? Yeah. Because some guy like Joe Rogan is not the same as some guy like Eduardo trying to do the same thing in fucking Venezuela. I understand, but we all try to achieve for Joe. We don't all try to achieve for Eduardo. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Kind of. I was trying to get in closer to what you're saying, because you're like the difficulty worldwide. Because are you meaning to say that if you're to choose something that some people consider to be difficult in doing, them having
let me give you a quick
successful
question
versus that same thing not being so difficult for somebody else? That's why I was
let me give you a question that will make you understand the gauge.
Okay.
Do you think it's harder to be like Joe Rogan or to be like a cardiac surgeon?
I don't think there's like a one. I wouldn't be able to pick one.
Okay, but if somebody said, what do you think would be harder to achieve?
That's actually not even a good question. You'd have to be more specific, because Joe Rogan is a very specific kind of person versus you just saying cardiac surgeon is not that specific. So if you said like cardiac surgeon, like top tier, you know what I mean? Like at the best hospital, make the blood, that makes more sense. But you have like cardiac surgeons and then you got cardiac surgeons.
I understand. But the odds... There's a path for a surgeon that's set in stone. We can agree on this.
Sure.
Whereas if you have the qualifications and you do the education and you have the finances, you can get there. Now, how hard it is to the average person to afford these finances? Well, not just
that, but there's levels of cardiac surgeons. Like,
right.
So to get to that higher point.
Yeah, let's just say mid-tier cardiac surgeon.
Because like the thing is, what are you considering Joe Rogan to be? Like, who is Joe Rogan to you?
I'd say Joe Rogan is not a top comedian, but I would say mid-high.
All right.
And we can say mid-high to a cardiac surgeon.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whereas they have like I saw at VGH when I was working there, it's like they have a floor dedicated to them or something like that. Sure. So that would be mid-high tier.
Okay.
Right? But the difficulty to get there and the odds of pertaining this job or field or way of life, I believe can be copied with a cardiac surgeon like that. Because if you just put in the sheer numbers of hospitals, of units, of the levels that these guys are, of the job opportunities, I would roughly estimate. Now, I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. But I would roughly estimate that to be like a Joe Rogan, to make the finances, to make to be in placements of opportunity, the opportunity is less.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't think you're still not having a fair question presented, because Joe Rogan isn't just a mid to high level comedian. If that's all that he was doing, what he's doing would be a lot.
No, I didn't finish. I didn't
right?
finish what.
Because you have to finish all. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because it's all of what he is that
he
makes
is
him
a pioneer. To be a pioneer in any field is almost the same, right? You can say things are in the end goal hindsight. Pioneers are pioneers. That's why they're called pioneers.
Okay.
Right. But that aside, to make money off of a comedian and to make it to being not a household name, but somebody who is well known. Let's just leave it at that.
There's the other question too, right? Because that just keeps going into this whole success thing that we're talking about. What is making it in this context?
Making it.
In like the
not having a 9 to 5,
okay.
having enough shows that you have revenue, having, multiple sources of income when it comes to that, whether it be podcasting, you're on the road, you're doing open mics to just better yourself, you're traveling to Europe to do shows, you're doing Australia tours, whatever. You're opening up.
You're making money off your entertainment.
Yeah, so we're talking like if a surgeon makes $500,000.
Because like what's interesting is that
no. If we put a quantity into the finances,
sure,
we can actually decide how hard this is.
Well, we weren't, but you're gonna make it that way. But okay, because I was gonna say based off that definition of making it, it's funny. But if you think about it, that guy buddy who I showed you earlier, he's technically made it because he's ticks all the things that you so far have mentioned.
Because not the money value is.
No, but we didn't get into that.
Yeah,
you're now adding that in as extra. That's different.
Because that's also a definition of making it in my eyes.
I see.
Understand?
But here's what's interesting, because like then you got like those fucking TikToker motherfuckers who have that money box ticked off. So on that definition, they would have.
What is their job description? TikToker?
Influencers.
Okay, influencer. Okay, I mean I think influencer. There's more influencers out there than comedians that make the value I'm going to set right now.
Oh, the value. See, so here's the thing, because now you're switching it, right? I just found it interesting because based off the other metrics that you were including, like
it's the general idea
the different
specific.
avenues of like making a living from it and like having your name kind of like known, all that stuff. It was just fun.
Start something and there's no science behind it and you have to figure everything out yourself. There's going to be a lot more ability to make mistakes than if there's a set way. A popular way, a popular route, right? So you can't believe that the scales and the statistics are based on the pioneers. You have to see it at the new age right now. So we can't be talking about.
I don't agree with that.
We can't be talking about past people.
Of course we can.
This is why. Because we're looking at success is present.
No.
Success
doesn't have to be.
Listen to why my reason success is present. Because we are saying what success is. Okay. When you think about the pioneers, the amount of pioneers we have in fields and different things that we still use today or that have translated to something that's important today.
Yeah.
And then you calculate that to a ratio of what all of the people that have lived on Earth and have died up to this point.
Yeah.
That percentage, that out of that number of people is nothing, right?
Okay.
We could agree on that.
Sure.
So those odds are shit because it's so fucking hard. The opportunity has to meet the criteria and the person has to be able to execute and get and become a pioneer. How many pioneers do we have? Not much, right? So it's not going to be what your environment is like. You're not a pioneer if you're going into a field. Even if I wanted to go into comedian, I'm not a pioneer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Going into it because it's already been done.
Okay, yeah, sure. That
Unless
was a very
I come
long-winded explanation.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
But you still can be. You still can be a pioneer.
You can be, but it's.
Are you saying that because there's more people, it's harder?
You have to listen.
Because that kind of makes sense.
It's like a race that you want to finish to become a pioneer. Okay.
Sure.
Just imagine. The longer the science, the longer the race.
Yeah.
So you have to get to a certain point and then become a pioneer, right? Create something brand new.
Yeah.
Okay. When the race is so fucking long that you might spend your whole life doing it and not get there.
Okay.
Because just to get to the top 5 guys, it takes 60 years.
Right.
So that's way harder to be a pioneer than something like comedy.
Oh yeah, sure. No, yeah.
Because
that makes more sense.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's
yeah.
no
It's
real
like, it's like
race to finish.
Early on, fucking these
Right.
scientists, it's like every day they woke up, it was a fucking brand
New thing,
Yeah, it
right?
was like, holy shit, this
Yeah.
guy's like a genius.
So
'Cause,
the
like,
level
every
of
second thought was a discovery.
The level of increase, let's say, in the science
Yeah.
is what dictates how fast you become a pioneer.
Okay.
It takes so much longer for a surgeon because it's such a long studied
Just
science.
to get to that point where you're even gonna start to become
Yeah,
a pioneer. Yeah,
pioneer.
for sure.
Right.
And you may, like you said, you may not even get there. You
Exactly.
may still be at that getting to that point.
Right.
And then like
And
getting
then
that
die.
point, and then
fucking
exactly.
you're dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Your wife leaves you can't handle it, your dick doesn't work, and then you start shaving with fucking what's it called? What's the shaving fucking stuff these Rogan guys do, man?
Well, Manscaped.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fuck, man. That was a good joke. Fuck. So we're on the route of bettering our lives.
Yeah.
And finding a partner in crime is not bad, right?
Not bad.
So if you could find it, great. If you can't, you can't. Some people base their lives around this, but as you age, you realize you don't.
Yep.
At least that's how I feel. But when we think about it, why don't we just go to the old fucking
The old country.
old country, man,
The old country.
and just
Oh yeah.
see a nice little fucking country girl, say what's up like a gentleman, you know? Just have that fucking
Let's come back. Yeah.
yeah, let's just come back, man. Start the dream, man.
I've actually I've had this discussion before
Shape
with
the
friends.
vase.
Shake
That you
the
wanna
vase,
put
and
the
you're making a
fucking
new
flowers
phrase up
in.
here. Yeah, sure, okay. I've had this thought before, and I've had this discussion with more than a few people on the idea of traveling to your parental home grounds, heritage, if you will, and finding a partner and bringing them back to your homeland now, which here would be Canada. And so my opinion has changed on this over time, because when I first thought about it, I thought that it was a great idea and that I was going to have no problems with it. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck around with my life for however many years, and I will definitely come back to Peru, pick up myself a wife, and then get the fuck back to Canada.
So that was the dream, right?
Yeah. At the beginning, like when this thought first came to me,
Right.
this was the dream.
That
This
was
was
the
like
dream.
this was I had this sure in my mind. I'm like, this is
Right.
what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And then over time, I realized that was A, not as realistic as I thought it out
Yeah.
to be. And then B, I became convinced that it wasn't going to be as good of an outcome as I initially had it in my head.
Success is changed by age.
That's right.
And
That's
and
right.
what you learn, man. So
I
it's
don't
like,
think now that it's
fuck.
an undoable thing. Like, logistically, it's actually not crazy.
a lot of dummies do it though.
I have- Bro,
I know
I got
an
my
old guy that did it.
my dad has friends who've done it recently, with like within the last fucking like 2 years, kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's doable, but now,
The risks are high, man.
Yeah,
the
and
risks are
like,
super high. Let's go into the fucking risks. bro.
what are you truly expecting when you actually do this? Like,
You
what
have no chemistry.
What kind of life are you expecting?
You-
What is your day to day looking like? Let's get into that.
Dude, even if you have a LeBron James of a wife that's from your old country, right? So like 1 in a million, 1 in a fucking 500 fucking whatever, right?
Yeah.
You are still just guessing that this is going to turn out well. Dog, you're not lighting that properly, son.
No,
Pass that shit over,
Here.
bro.
Oh yeah.
You're just guessing. You're just guessing that this is what you're doing wrong.
I was guessing with that.
Bro, you're guessing, man. You don't got the rhythm, man. You guys aren't good with your hands. You
No,
notice that shit?
I've never done that.
No. But you guys, none of you guys are good with your hands like I am.
What do you define as good with hands?
Emil, you, Dr. Evil. None of you guys are like hand literate.
Please explain that for me.
Okay. I am much more hands-on guy, and I mean by what I mean is like my hand dexterity is way superior to all three of you.
I actually take offense to that. I don't think it's
Oh, I believe it is.
No.
Because I've seen you use tools.
and that's the thing.
And the dexterity
you think
you have.
you've seen me use tools.
No, but I'm not doubting you.
The thing
Listen,
is, you know what?
You're,
you know why
you're
it's
a
different
close
here?
second. You're a
no,
close
but
second.
you know why it's different here?
Why?
I'm nervous of using people's things.
What do you mean?
I'm nervous of using people's tools.
I
It's just something in me that I've had as a kid. It's
listen,
like
I'm not doubting your skills.
Be careful. No, that.
This is the thing.
Gross, bro. Fucking gay ass, fucking gross roach or whatever. Deal with it. It's something like in my ball somewhere.
Oh shit. You got a roach in your balls, bro?
Basically, man. I think it went down there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, like I've always had that where like I'm nervous touching people's things, whether it's like as kids, like their toys.
Let's say
like
I
whatever.
believe that. Let's say I believe
So like,
that. Okay?
yeah, I think it'd be more a fair assessment if you'd like see me at home doing my thing. And at that point, if you're like, hey, you know what, I saw you at home.
I don't doubt how good you are.
I would but I would take your assessment and I'd be like, you know what, okay, I'm not even gonna argue if like if that's what you think fair. So I think if you're at home,
this is why I say I'm better than you. Years of construction, hands-on work.
Sure.
Even before that, with my father.
Me too, though.
All hands-on work. Let's say that's equal. The construction puts me ahead. By far. And then it comes to daily lifestyle. Lifestyle-wise, even my job currently is still a lot more hands-on than your job on a daily. So if you just look at pure numbers, even if I'm dumber than you, I just had more hours in with it.
Sure.
So that's it. But what I'm saying is that you see these things not based on that thing you said about the tools. You see these things by form.
Yeah.
Even everything. The expertise comes in with form, proper form. So whatever you do in life, just understand that there is a form to it, to do an art. And that's what you should fucking do. That's why, like, when it comes to software and shit, I ask fucking a million shit. And I'm like, okay, I literally take what his word is fucking as what it is.
Yeah.
And I just like, okay, I got to get that done. That's what I got to do. That's how it is. Like, I've changed universities because he's told me some shit. And I'm like, if that's the case, I don't want to fucking
do
this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that. What am I wasting time for?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going to be 33. Fucking going to school with 23-year-olds and shit. But it's all good, daddy. So would you do it? Would you get that fucking girl, that sexy hyena?
Very unlikely.
God damn. Tell me about that. Why?
I just don't think the outcome is going to be as good as I thought it was compared to...
Let me paint you a picture, though. Let me make this fair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we're going into illusions, right? This is Inception, right? We're getting high.
Yeah.
Those are the mirrors, and now we're switching the mirrors up, right?
Yeah, we are.
So, let's say this girl, right, is 5'5", 5'6".
I'm gonna close my eyes for this one.
You close your eyes, and let me guide you in. 5'5", 5'6", brunette with a little bit of natural blonde highlights near the ends.
That's already like a unicorn.
Super thick hair, but soft. Okay? Caramel or light skin. Tan. Naturally, though. Green eyes with fucking blues. We're talking 1 in billions, bro. At this point, we're just at the head.
Yeah.
All right? And of course, like, you know, perfect figure, whatever that means to you.
Sure, yeah.
Humble. Fucking good family.
Yeah.
Educated.
Oh, Jesus.
But in the hometown.
Don't do that to me.
Educated. But in the hometown. Doesn't wear skirts above her knee, bruh. I'm not even saying that that's a benefit thing, but she's just so down to earth and nerdy that that's just her lifestyle. Not because she's religious or anything like that. Or
that's just her.
That's just how she is. She's a little bit nerdy. And as I age, bro, the nerdies are coming in hot. Real hot.
Yeah, I know they are for you.
And
for you especially lately.
Bro, it's... I don't know why it turns
you missed
into
out,
this.
man, because if you had that mentality 10 years ago, you would have killed it in that game.
Bro.
Like, holy fuck, dude.
Too many. It's okay, though. It's okay. No regrets ever.
No regrets, baby.
But you just learn and you rephrase with what you have. I'm going to hit this last one right here.
Yeah, kill that one. Okay, so that's a pretty good fucking picture. Basically, you're like describing... You're basically telling me, Hector, if you could just picture girl of your dreams, in your fucking dreams right now, do you do it? I mean, at that point, I'm a fucking idiot for saying no.
Yeah.
right?
So that's what I'm
The
saying.
problem is that that's basically impossible.
So
finding
you
that, like,
basically have to put your house on it. Let's put it like that,
Sure.
right? The girl of your dreams.
Yeah.
But you have to dedicate any kind of equity you have right now. Everything is locked, can be lost.
Yeah.
That's the risk.
That's risk of marriage in general.
That's
literally
exactly, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You can have that risk found here.
Right.
It is, you don't have to find in fucking home country, bring it back here. You can find that shit here already. Fucking Brewery Row. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can just go down the street and you'll see that. I know kind of what you're getting at though, and it's a good question. The way that you described it, like with like this partner, this ideal partner, yeah, I'm risking it for sure. Like I said, I'd be an idiot for saying no, because
What age do you think we're gonna stop risking it? That's a good one.
that's a really good one.
What age do you think we're gonna stop doing it? Because now we're guessing what we're gonna be like, right?
No, because kind of what I was going to finish on was, of course, I'm going to risk it for this ideal person that I'm finding in the home country, right, and like the fatherland, because the point of this discussion would be, at least for me, is that I could just easily find that here as well. It'll be a lesser partner, but I can still find that like
But
here.
It's not the same.
No, I said lesser partner. It's not
Okay.
the same. But that secondary risk that you mentioned of losing your house. I mean, I can lose my house marrying someone here.
That's why you wouldn't
want it.
That's why you wouldn't want that partner here, right?
But here's the other thing. Here's why, and I'm gonna get into why my opinion has changed over time about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I now see that there are inherent risks with doing this, bringing over a partner from the fatherland here.
Yeah.
Reason is, the downsides are gonna happen no matter if it's this unicorn of a partner or if it's like a not as unicorn of a partner, if it's just like a good one, right?
Yeah.
And that risk is the following. This person is going to change, not in a way that's in your favor when you move back here. You take someone from another country, and for us, our fatherlands are poorer than Canada. So you take someone, from example, from me in Peru. You take a girl from Peru and you bring her here. She is going to keep a lot of the things that made her, right? Mm. The way that she was brought up, the values that her parents instilled in her education, all those things stay with her. That's not going to change when she comes here. But what you are changing very fundamentally is her environment, both physically and socially. Mm. So physically and socially in Peru, not assuming like the metropolitan area, because that's the point of this conversation was kind of finding an ideal partner like in a smaller city, right? Yeah. Like with those kind of values. Physically, what you're going to find in those environments, so I'll take like my dad's hometown as a perfect example because I've actually thought of this within the context of my dad's hometown. Physically, you're going to find a city that's like decent, but the homes are nowhere near as big as they are here. Small apartments. That's like people you're used to. Even the houses are also smaller than the houses here. That's just how it is there. So the houses are smaller. The stuff in general is of lesser quality. Some things are now equalized. You can find the same TVs here that you do there. Like that's the same now. But like the tables are nicer here. The kitchens are nicer here. You know what I mean? Like it's literally all the details are nicer here than they are there. So you're going to take this person and physically change your environment from that to here where literally everything she sees around her is better. Everything. And now socially, you have also changed things where you've taken her from a poorer social circle that is more humble in nature, has less money with them in general, and are used to different things for entertainment.
So you're referring to the withdrawal values of...
Yes, let me get there. But you're changing their friend circle, right? So like, the girls there, the girls here. The girls dress different. You know what I mean? Like they dress more cosmopolitan here than they do in like small town Peru. So you're basically, what you're doing is like to make a long-winded explanation short, you're basically elevating your status everywhere. You're elevating her physical environment, and you're elevating your social platform as well.
What do you think the odds of her kind of deteriorating it with that status, like losing it?
That's exactly what I was getting to. And here, this is what I've seen over time is the risk of things not going in your favor when you bring this girl over here to the fatherland, to the home country here. We'll call this the home country. By doing that, by elevating the physical environment and elevating the social environment as well, you are going to change this person in ways that may not be favorable for you. So some of the values that you liked about them, the small town nature of being friendly and being super appreciative of things, and not being argumentative because they're grateful for everything. Some of these good values, I've named a few, but I imagine there's other good values that you see in this, girl of your dreams or whatever. Those things are going to change simply being in this environment.
Yeah.
It's hard to be appreciative of the small things when you were given everything.
But is this everything?
To them, yes. Yeah. That's the fucking key. And that's the problem. However, for certain
chances.
No, not only that, but for certain girls, it's worth taking even that risk of knowing that
damn
it is. Because if someone's value in being appreciative is so fucking high that even if this whole thing happens here and it comes down, it can still be at a higher level than a girl that you already find here.
What's that saying? The loved and lost is better than not to love at all, or whatever?
It's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. That's the one.
Preach.
So
now is the time where you can fucking relax, recall what happened in your fucking week, and reassess what you want to do with your life, man. This is the fucking best time. We're Funny But Foul. Instagram, Funny But Foul podcast, and Funny But Foul everywhere else. Peace.